which you guys are currently in. The farm has been around longer than it looks like, but technically this space has been around for 6 months. But let me introduce myself. My name is Cynthia Helen, and I'm the founder and CEO of Simplicity Lab. Thank you everyone for being here. This has been a 2 months, mostly a 2 months on and off event, which it all culminated, and it started from the idea of making a simple ceviche for our co-working colleagues here at the space. I'm Peruvian American, so I wanted to bring a dish to my co-workers during the holiday season, and ceviche is simple to me, and luckily I have some really good friends in the Latin restaurant world, and they offered to do a tasting, and it was going to be for an hour. So the December event, which did not go through, was going to be for an hour, just one day. But I have some really great supporters and just really amazing people who are doing really great work within the food, nutrition, social impact space. And this is what came out of the one original idea. So now we have here present Sanjay Rawa, from director, producer of Food Chains. We also have Joel Burke from Coalition Against Hunger, actually NYC Coalition Against Hunger. We also have a panel with Feastly, Super Sprouts, and Reserve. Actually, let me do double duty. But if you haven't taken a look at the agenda, basically it's a jam-packed event. The first day, it's an introduction of a presentation panel and a workshop, ceviche workshop. Day 2 is a conference from 8 to 6, so it's a really heavy, meant to be inspirational, not too heavy, bombarding with data and more data. And Sunday is the workshop that's actually more interactive. So if you guys are into yoga, meditation, or even dancing, we're gonna have some Bollywood moves. But let me introduce my co-organizer. Me and her have known each other for quite some time, and she has also been on everything when it comes to Expose. Virgilia? Yes? Can I switch to
So I actually wanted to thank the volunteers, and when I say your names, please stand up and raise your hand, because this could not have happened without any of you. While Cynthia and I were going crazy, you would keep us sane and keep us in check. So Ryan, thank you, and please give him an applause as well. Sarah. Ashley. Stella. And Jennifer, who I don't think she's here yet, but she's been incredible as well. Yeah. And thank you again for attending, and we're excited to kick this weekend off.
Thank you so much for having me, Cynthia. I'm Laura Bucko, VP of Communications for the Manhattan Chamber of Commerce. I'm also the chair of the Green Business Committee. Does everyone know what the Chamber of Commerce does? Do you know what a Chamber of Commerce is in English?
We have a joint association of local businesses.
Absolutely, and what I love is that you knew we're about business, we're not about the government.
We connect over the Sandy Recovery Campaign. Eat Down to Hub.
Okay, very good.
You remember?
Yes,
Yes.
good to hear. So we do 3 things at the Chamber. We advocate, so if there are laws that the City Council are trying to pass that are not good for business, we will be your voice and say, hey, don't pass this, or try and pass this, it'll be good for business. We connect. We have many events, networking events, to try to connect you to potential clients and potential partners. And we educate. We have lots of different networking events and forums to help you learn more about your business. So a few years ago, we started to see something happening at the Chamber. We saw that there were energy efficiency experts joining, recycling companies, organic foods. There was definitely something going on. So we launched a Green Business Committee. This became the most popular committee the Chamber has ever had. It became so popular, we had several different subcommittees. Green Finance, Green Design and Construction, Green Energy, just to name a few. We also held several major conferences as part of READ. We held the Greener New York Conference at Con Edison to connect legislators and energy efficiency experts. We held the Food for Thought MCC Green Film Festival which showcased the films Food Inc., Flow, Fresh, and Gasland, and held a discussion about local organic foods. Who here has seen Gasland? It just goes to show how important it is to have these public discussions, because now fracking is banned in New York State. That definitely deserves applause. We also had the Transportation Transformation Conference, in which we talked about bike sharing, electric cars, waterways, and different clean transportation. I just attended the Move New York press conference with Gridlock Sam to find out a more equitable format for the city's bridges, tolls, and the proposals would also have a positive environmental impact. In addition, remember everything here. We also just had a tour of the Empire State Building to check out their retrofits and their new energy components, reducing their overall energy usage. They actually have a special sustainability tour that you can take there. And what about what businesses can do to be better people and better citizens? We've also started a series about anti-human trafficking to talk about how businesses can address this issue. So what we say at the Chamber, it's all about connections. Probably the best compliment I ever got at the Chamber was that we became friends because of you. So this weekend at this conference, get connected, get involved, and make some friends. Welcome everyone. Thank you.
Yes. Again, I have to say thank you to the farm, and I actually just saw Lucas. I'm gonna put him on the spot. Lucas, can you come up? He's the founder of the farm, everyone. So we gotta say thank you.
Hi everyone. Hi. Welcome to the farm. We're hosting the event tonight. We are a co-working space. Well, you know where we're located, obviously. So we specialize mostly in health technology, startup companies. We house them here. We help them to seed and grow and become as successful and as prosperous as possible. I'd like to thank Cynthia for putting this beautiful event together, and I'm here mostly for the food. You'll catch me eating. Stop me if you can. And I welcome everyone, and I hope if you have any questions about the space, I'm here to answer them for you, and I hope you enjoy your stay.
Thank you, Lucas and the farm. So we're gonna get going. So this individual, I love the fact that he's doing my dream job. He's a producer, director, he is an advocate. He's pretty much saving the world through storytelling. And to me, storytelling, it's pretty much everything, what we see and what we do. It's really how you show it and how you tell it. And he has such a beautiful gift, Sanjay Rowell of Illumini Group. And he's going to be coming up and sharing his story and pretty much of what he's done of food chains. So Sanjay, please.
Thanks, everyone. Yeah, I find in these rooms that most people in the audience are smarter than the speakers. Definitely in this case. So I want to keep this, really light and hopefully interactive. I'm going to share a little bit about my project, and hopefully it'll spark a few questions. I know that even in just basic introductions with people, people have a lot more questions than I was necessarily prepared for. But that said, my name is Sanjay. I'm the director of a documentary film called Food Chains. We released last November. Eva Longoria, semi-known actress, produced it. Eric Schlosser, who in this country is one of the foremost investigative journalists. He wrote Fast Food Nation. He was a producer on Food Inc. He was the other producer. And we were really lucky to get Forrest Whitaker to be the narrator. And as documentary films go, they really don't. So we had, we thought it was a fantastic release. We were in 60 cities in November and December. We were launched on the same day as the Hunger Games. Didn't quite match their box office, but we tried our best. It was interesting because, Katniss, for example, what district was she from? 11. You just kind of blew your cover. The District 13, I think, is the agricultural district in whatever world that was. And You know, they were mostly African American. They toiled and worked very, very long hours for next to nothing. And it's a movie about a dystopian reality, but the fact of the matter is it's not entirely dystopian. Food Chains is about the farm workers who pick 100% of the fresh produce that we have in our food system. There's not a single piece of produce that you buy and eat fresh from a supermarket or in a salad that wasn't picked by somebody. There's no machine harvesting for fresh market produce. Some vegetables and fruits are picked by machines, like all the tomatoes that end up going into ketchup or end up going into cans, those are picked by machines. But even frozen fruit, the majority, vast majority of frozen food are picked by hand. And conferences like this are great. I mean, everyone here has such a high level of interest in food. But we have to ask ourselves, and I ask myself this too, does that interest in food translate into the hands that pick that food? I mean, we live in New York City. Everybody here is constantly bombarded with olive oil tastings, and you know, someone who had a pig for a pet is now cooking and serving it. So it's like there's a lot of food and there's a lot of interest, and we all want to know like where our food came from, how was it grown, what did it eat in some cases, where did it live? Portlandia asks, you know, what was the name of that chicken? But, you know, we ask a ton of questions. But before I started this movie a few years ago, I wasn't really asking about the hands that picked that food. Like, did the people, or were the people responsible for my meal, were they paid a living wage? Were they treated fairly? And we assume that in this country, because there are laws against human trafficking, there's laws against modern-day slavery, there's laws against sexual harassment, there's laws against wage theft, that we have the equivalent of fair trade food in this country, and that's categorically untrue. I think the only period in this country where we had fair trade food was the very first Thanksgiving, whatever it was, 1620.
This is pretty much the first time that everyone is meeting because everyone has been all, you know, all around. So basically, okay, so tonight's panel, which, yes, Instagram away, Twitter away. By the way, we are hashtag Exposed 2015, handle Exposed HQ. And next to me, Microwave Robina from Twitter handle, Farm to People. Next up is social media.
Yeah, Twitter is Twin Mickey and Instagram, not the same, is Mickey Admiral.
I got one already. So I'm Nadia from Reserve. Twitter handle is Reserve.
I'm Noah from Feastly, and it's Eat Feastly.
So we're gonna have to share 2 mics here and 2 mics there, yes? Okay, cool, we can do this. All right, so the panel, the reason why these individuals are here, these individuals are here is because each of them actually have a product and or service that work within the industry of changing the way that you either A, purchase, B, what you're doing with the purchases, and then actually what is the outcome of the purchase, right? So there's a lot more than what I can actually tell you. So I'm gonna actually ask each individual to introduce themselves, aside from the Twitter handle, and give us a not even one sentence, exactly why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah, so I'm Michael. I co-founded Farm to People, an online specialty store with my father, and it came about as he's been in the industry for many, many years, and I was just starting out at the farmer's market as a clerk, just giving people their vegetables, and we came together seeing a need for small batch makers in farmers markets all over the country to have a platform to reach customers all over the country because of how expensive it is to get distribution through the Krogers, the Whole Foods, the 7 big grocery stores that exist out there now. So yeah.
Cool. First question, do you shave?
A little bit.
Because your face is that of a baby's bottom. Right? I was like, oh my goodness. Okay, so Okay. My name is Nikki Agrawal, and I am the co-founder and CEO of a company called Thinks. It's not in the food space, but it's certainly disrupting a category that has yet to be disrupted in over 50 years, the feminine hygiene sector. So just a quick timeline, 1931, the tampon was invented. 85 years later, still the same. 1969 was the last real innovation when they put the adhesive strip underneath the pad to prevent it from moving around. Even before that, women had to use menstrual belts, clips, and pins to hold the pad in place. What? Ask your grandmother. So we sort of, invented a pair of underwear that's actually a sustainable pair of underwear that replaces, you don't have to ever use a panty liner again, and it supports women every day of the month, yet it looks and feels like a regular pair of underwear. I actually have a pair over there that we can girls can kind of look at and touch and feel. But then, of course, the social problem here is that over 100 million girls in the developing world are missing a week of school because of their periods. And it's a huge issue that not a lot of people are talking about because it's a taboo subject. And by the way, the word taboo stems from the root word tapua. Do you know what that means? Do you guys know what tapua means? Anyone? No. It means menstruation. So taboo means menstruation. So the most uncomfortable thing we can talk about is a woman's period. So what we've done is we've partnered up with an organization in Uganda called AfriPads that produces washable, reusable cloth pads for women. And so for every pair of underwear that you buy here that solves a problem for us, we fund the production of 7 reusable cloth pads that goes to a girl in the developing world. These pads last her over a year. They're just washable, reusable. So check out shethinks.com. Thanks so much.
So my name is Nadia, and I'm the Director of Content and Communications at a company called Reserve. We're a dining concierge app. We work here in New York City as well as several other cities in the U.S. And our goal is to make dining better, not only for people who are actually going to restaurants, but also to help make dining better for the restaurants that we're partnered with. The restaurant industry is very, very difficult to break into, and it's really hard to succeed in long term. So we really have priority in helping to support our partners while providing a great experience to their guests.
Hi, I'm Noah. So Feastly is an online platform that allows for any chef, sous chef, cook, food entrepreneur to be able to offer and serve food to anyone. And this happens anywhere in the world. And so the reason why I started it was I had been both on the supply side, so I had my pop-up at a cafe in DC called the Blind Dog Cafe. If anyone goes there, they should check it out. And then it really started on the consumer side when I was traveling, and I really wanted some authentic food in Guatemala, and I couldn't find any. And so, really what we've been trying to do is, and by the way, I did find some, but it took 2 hours to find it. And that was really kind of the seed for what I'm doing here, which is rethinking how people are offering and serving food and just their trajectory within the kind of culinary world. Most of the time you have to just work in stage in a restaurant, which is not a very nice place. And so we're rethinking that and allowing people to access food that they might not normally be able to have, whether that's food from St. Croix to Macau, to dietary lifestyles that you can't normally find in a lot of traditional dining establishments. And empowering these folks to be able to blaze their own trail in a new way. And also offer you access to eat this food in places that you might not, or you probably will never have access to, because a lot of it happens in people's homes.
Make sure you actually take the mic in really close to your mouth, just in case in the back area. Hello everyone back there. Feel free to actually fill up the seats, so that way, yes, you get to be part of the conversation. Okay, so now we have food, we have a lot of the health and the social impact here present. My question is, how can you actually balance out the social focus, the social aspect of making sure that you're actually doing good within your product, at the same time keeping a bottom line, making profit? Has that been difficult to actually set up at the very beginning, or do you actually once the first 2 or 3 products are designed and actually does well? Is it afterwards? Like, how do you actually go throughout the design process to actually, yes, this is going to be socially conscious? Like, how do you make that happen? As individuals here, and also a little background info on what is a socially conscious product. What's the meaning behind that to you?
I guess for Farm to People, it's more like creating a platform. We don't create our own product. We're not creating a cookie like Honey and Soul, for instance, which is right over there, which we carry, and is a delicious product that they're creating. And our goal is to really provide that platform for them to reach a larger audience, hopefully in markets that they're not currently in yet. So that's pretty, I think the way that we want to give back socially is not by us creating any of the food ourselves, but by creating this online marketplace. So that's our way to give back to consumers, for you to find something new, and for producers to find new consumers who will support you. Yeah.
I should probably mention that my relevance on this panel is that my first business, I own a couple of restaurants here in New York, and they're gluten-free, farm-to-table pizza concepts. So any of you here are gluten-free and who like pizza, then I think it's the best pizza in New York, personally. I'm also biased. But I guess, you know, with which relating to my current business things, you know, the social piece of our business is woven super tightly into the business. It's part of the core of who we are. For every pair of underwear sold, we fund 7 reasonable pads to a girl. It's, you know, it's what keeps us going. Financially, you know, it's, the good news is to produce a pack of, you know, washable reusable pads that last a girl over a year is only 5% or so, between 5 and 7%, depending on the style of our revenue. So that's, you know, that's pretty much what we need to give. So, you know, our product, we're also creating new categories so we can price, you know, our product in its category. It's not an underwear. It's not going to compete against Victoria's Secret. It's a functional garment that supports you. And so we're creating an entirely new category which we get to price. And so with that, we definitely have some room to fund these pads to girls in Uganda, which, by the way, I'm going to Uganda for my first time in a week and a half, which I'm really excited to finally get our partners and meet these girls. And we've helped over, you know, 8,000 girls go back to school, and to be able to really see and share their stories. So exciting.
You know, I think for us, when we think about giving back, a lot of what we do is think of innovative and creative ways to work with our partners to benefit charity. When you look and talk to members of the restaurant community, there are actually a lot of chefs and restaurateurs who care really, really deeply about giving back to either particular causes or helping raise awareness about where food comes from. So for us, it's very natural to partner with them to help raise awareness and raise money for some of these really, really great causes.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, it's inherent in everything we do. So, you know, just on the social aspect of it, when we look at the dining room table as the original social network. And so even just that simple act of being around a table and interacting with people, and that value proposition of food not just nourishing your body, but your soul too. And part of that is with the people that are around you doing that. On kind of the more social good aspect of it, you know, we're basically unlocking all of these folks who might not otherwise be able to make supplemental income or follow their path, be able to do that a lot more easily, which is to be able to offer and serve food to folks that they might or might not know. And then on kind of the other piece of social good, you know, we also have worked with a number of charities in terms of donating some of the profits that we make to various causes.
So again, you guys are sitting at the Conscious Consumption panel at Expose 2015, hashtag Expose in 2015. And here's a question that I always want to know, because I'm always trying to figure out my whole trajectory, right? Of why are we here right now? Especially, why are you sitting in front of me? You know, why am I sitting in front of you? Why am I so lucky to be here? So the question is to each of you, what was the craziest job that you did and that you think led you to where you are right now at this moment? So, or just what was the decision in your life that led you to be here right now?
I'll be totally transparent. I haven't held many jobs, but it was definitely working at the farmers market and observing sort of the landscape changing from a more corporate sort of. I don't know. I just remember when I was really young and going to friends' houses and their parents would have like food in their fridge, and it would always be like the big companies, like you'd see Kraft butter or cream cheese, and that was like a safe choice. That was like, no one was really that inventive in their shopping. And I started to notice, like as I was in college and I was going to the farmers market and Smorgasburg and all these really cool flea markets sort of around the city and around the country, you start to notice people being really daring and wanting to try like crazy new flavors and cheeses that are aged in caves in Vermont, and this sort of like awesome like risk taking and it like sort of challenging your palate. And that was definitely through that whole network that I started to see, wow, we're moving past supporting big brands and we want to find sort of like what Etsy did with crafts. We want to find what the food producers are doing in that world too and support that. And that was a real inspiration, really informative, and really provided a lot of hope for me moving forward. Yeah.
So for me, I think my book actually talks about the entire trajectory of my life. The book Do Cool Shit, but really the number one thing I think was working in production. You know, in New York City, the film department is there's a huge department. I used to produce commercials and music videos. And I feel like when you're producing, just like producing an event like this, you have to deal with making sure there's a venue, making sure there's there's the actors, the hair and makeup, the motorhome, like all the different things that you're required to produce a commercial and music video. You acquire those skills. It's production, and that skill set is really transferable into starting a business. You have to hire people. You have to make sure they get paid on time. You have to make sure the product you're creating is delivered on time. You have to make sure your client's happy. So these are all sort of parts of a skill within one industry are directly transferable to entrepreneurship. So if you think you're like, I don't know anything about entrepreneurship, but you work in production or you're an event planner, then you're actually closer than you think.
So for me, I think like Michael, I grew up actually in a family that was part of the restaurant industry. We had a small family restaurant, and I don't know how many folks in the room have actually worked in the restaurant industry, but it's really difficult. I see a lot of heads nodding. Watching my father start his own business and start it from a place of passion about hospitality, about sharing his love of food and creating food. It was really insightful to know how much other stuff came along with running a restaurant. Things like managing down your credit card rates, things like worrying about computing payroll, things like picking your restaurant management software. All the things that come along with being a small business owner and an entrepreneur that have nothing to do with a lot of the passion that drives people into that job in the first place. So I had that background growing up, and then when I actually was contacted to start and learn more about Reserve, it was really impactful for me to know that there was a company out there that understood that all of these issues that small business owners, that restaurateurs were facing, that there was a company out there that wanted to help them with that, and wanted to help them be able to spend less time on those things and more time on what they were passionate about and what they cared about, which was providing an amazing experience for their guests. That to me was really, really compelling, and that's why I'm here.
So there are two things. The first one is that my parents are kind of white collar workers, and that's like what I do to do. And so I was getting a master's degree, and like it was painful. And I got connected to kind of two things happened, but a startup company there, and I was like, oh, seems like really interesting. And that bug kind of hit me. I was like, oh my God, I can be creative, it's like fast paced. And while doing that, I actually started running a small pop-up taco stand. And that was kind of like the first piece of me seeing what it's like to be a food entrepreneur. And then the second thing, which was more recent, which is that 3 weeks into dating my girlfriend, we took an impromptu trip to Mexico and Guatemala. And that was really, and she was really the muse for a lot of this, and that was really the spark for the trajectory that I'm on now.
I also opened a restaurant, but I was so unqualified to do so. I was 15, and it was basically handed to me by my dad, who's not here, but hello Dad, I'm sure he's seen my Twitter feed or the hashtag, because I taught him well. But he is my first investor, and he pretty much had the space, and he said, let's do it, that's all. And yes, at 15, I was given a restaurant, and that was the very first time I actually understood, and now I have so much respect for the food industry. I would not do it again. So,
What kind of restaurant?
It was a Latin restaurant, of course, but oh my goodness, you and everyone else in the food industry, I bow down to you, as well as mothers, moms. Wow, it's amazing what the behind the scenes is nothing compared to what really it takes to actually get it even started, to continue it. I only did it for 2 years, and that was throughout the journey of finding out I had the tumor and everything, which I stopped and I sold it. So yes, that was my backstory. But now to these fine individuals here, my question is, if you were to go back in time and change anything as far as, you know, a moment of a decision that was made, would you, whether not going to MBA school, whether, I don't know, getting a real job, or whether anything within your life, would you do so? If so, what would that be? And this is you taking a look at 10 years and give yourself like a 10-year, you know, what would you tell yourself at 15 or 20 that now you know, that you take into account?
I'm gonna pass. I'm happy. I'm just trying stuff out, and too soon to know.
Oh, how old are you? How old are you?
22.
22. Oh, that's so cute. just wait. This 2015 is actually my 10-year mark of owning my restaurants. Wild. And I think I have a thyroid condition because of it. I'm not kidding, actually. No, it's if I was to look back, I think, you know, my father's from India, my mother's from Japan, so I grew up very sort of stubborn, and where you only got love if you won. Winning is everything. So when it came to my restaurants, you know, it was my first idea. I had a stomach ache. I loved pizza. I couldn't eat pizza anymore. I was lactose intolerant. I was intolerant to processed foods. I said, I'm going to open a restaurant. 25 years old, no experience, just did it. And looking back, you know, what my restaurateur, what I brought in a partner that really knew more than I, you know, did much earlier on. And I only found my guy like 2 years ago. Before that, I was running it myself, bringing in managers who were like stealing from, like, you name it, I experienced it. And so looking back, either I would have found a real correct operating partner. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm not an operator. I'm not a restaurateur, I'm an entrepreneur. And so those are distinctions I learned. It took me a long time to really understand that, you know, the big picture person is not necessarily the same person who's in the trenches actually doing the work. And it's funny because the week that my partner took over my restaurant 2 years ago, our numbers doubled in a week. And I was like, kill me now. And then a month later, our numbers tripled. And I'm just like, God, like, what am I doing? So again, this is like, you know, the beautiful lesson of, you know, really doing what you do best and what you excel at, and bringing in people who, you know, excel at their, like, some people love operations. You know, that's what they do and that's what they love. you bring those people in to do those things and you do what you do best. I'm a creative. That's, I have ideas. I need someone to implement them for me. And so with things, with my new business, I have a whole, team of, digital strategists and design and marketing and different departments who really take care of the parts that I'm not so great at. I have a COO, a CFO, and a board finally. And these things all really allow me to excel and really focus on what I do best.
I think for me, looking back 10 years, I agree with Michael. It's hard. It's hard to sort of know, mostly because I'm very happy with how things are going now. But I think, to Mickey's point, figuring out what you really like and what you're good at and what you're passionate about is so important. And then figuring out who else in your network or who else in your life or who else in your industry can help step in and complement you so that you can spend more time focusing on your passion while hopefully making your business even that much more successful is a really great tip.
I would only say is just unleashing kind of that entrepreneurial spirit sooner than later. It's probably like the only thing I would have changed, but it's not like a huge deal. But yeah, that's what would have been it for sure.
All right, well,
I want to thank everyone, and especially Michael, Mickey, Naja, and Noah.
I've got, if you guys want to talk to me, I've got postcards and some things and underwear to look at right over here.
So we actually have a lot of goodies for you guys. So now it's time to just take a look at each table that's all around you. There are a lot of products that are just like Mickey's things. We have Copali chocolates. We also have a juice stand, so go get your juice on. And then we will have an actual workshop ceviche. If you want to learn how to make some really good ceviche, it's going to happen shortly, so stick around, all right? So mingle.
Hello everyone, today I'm here at Expose 2015, an event to promote healthy living and healthy food. And today I am here with Jose Luis Chavez.
Yes.
Hi. What are you doing today at this event?
First of all, thank you. Thank you for being here. Yes, this is an exposition talking about healthy food. They invite me to participate, to contribute. To me, it's a real pleasure to bring this message about Peruvian food. We're going to work today with the ceviche. We're going to teach the people how we can do the ceviche, classic Peruvian ceviche.
And from which restaurant are you with?
I'm working right now in a Bagatelle, New York. This is a French bistro. We are now 6 restaurants, including Dubai, Brazil, Sao Paulo, Brazil, French, Saint-Tropez. And we open now in Miami too. So this is a company.
So I understand that you're a Peruvian chef, and this is a very international restaurant, correct?
Yes, exactly.
That's very impressive.
Actually, I'm from Venezuela.
Oh, okay.
My father is from Peru. He's from the jungle in Peru. He moved to Venezuela when he was young, and I'm born and grown in Venezuela. So in 2006, I moved to Peru to go to the culinary school. So I lived in Peru almost 6 years. I went to school for 3 years. And I'm working in Bagatelle. This is a French bistro, right? This is a kind of modern, so we open to different concepts, technique, fusion.
And what inspired you to follow, culinary arts?
When I was in my country, I went to the school to study numbers, administration. So I spent like 2 years doing anything over there. Actually, I don't like the numbers. So I used to work at weekends in the restaurant. So I'm starting to getting used to in the kitchen. And I never been to Peru before. I never met my family in Peru. So one day I say, okay, Papa, and study administration. I went to Peru. I went to study culinary school with this boon of the Peruvian gastronomic now. So yes, I went to Peru, and the first time I tried ceviche, it was my final part of me. It was beautiful. Yeah.
Good. And I understand this event is about healthy living, healthy food. What do you think? Where do you think ceviche stands in healthy living?
Yes, ceviche is the new sushi. Okay, this is the people knowing about ceviches, listen about ceviches, but most of the people, or the American people here, they don't know about it. So this is our job. Give the people the message about ceviche and explain to also it's very simple to do and it's very healthy. We working today with the fluke is only 2% of fat, so it's very healthy, easy to make, and also sustainable to the sea. You know, this is
what message do you want to send to any aspiring chefs out there in the world?
We have to do the right thing, you know. We have to promote what we believe and do the best we can do. Use the best product, respect always the sea, respect the food, and always be humble.
Well, thank you, Jose.
No,
thank you, and I hope to see your presentation very soon.
Of course, thank you very much. Thank you.
Peruvian instrumental music. It's one of the most well-known and well-respected individuals. It's called Condor Pasar, and it's much older than my great-grandparents, to be honest. So this is a traditional music. A lot of instrumentals are always used with South America, so that's what you guys get to see, always the guitar playing and a lot of flutes. But along with this music, we also have for you guys ceviche, which is going to be cooked for you live. And to be honest, this was the original idea. This was actually what we, and I was inspired, the team was inspired, we all were inspired with this dish. And the reason why this dish is because I grew up on this dish. It's a dish I started eating at 2 years of age. It was introduced to me, to my wonderful parents who are Peruvian born and raised. I was Peruvian born but American raised, but thanks to them I have their culture, their history part of me in everything that I do, including obviously this. So I'm going to introduce to you now the chef, the sous chef of Bagatelle.
Cynthia, come on.
Oh, my goodness. So this is, right here, this is a great, I don't know how this all happened, but it happened so quickly.
I'm just a simple cook, let's say.
So, Jose Luis Rivera Chavez, yep.
Chavez.
So he was the individual that came through, this wonderful person right here who is my closest friend in New York City. So me and her, I grabbed her, told her, I want to do a ceviche tasting workshop. I need your husband. And she's like, absolutely. So not even a minute later, he said yes, and he got all this sponsored by Bagatelle NYC. So these are your chefs for tonight. Actually, we also have here Miguel Garcia. He's actually going to introduce to you, and we actually will be translating because apparently he thinks that he has a really thick accent. I think his English is pretty good. You'll be the judge of it. You guys will be. So I'll let you guys take it.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you. Guys, my name is Jose Chavez. It's my first time. First of all, I want to say thank you for being here. Okay, this to me, for us, it's a great pleasure. She's my wife, Ashley. She think she's gonna cook, but actually she's gonna be my personal translation. This is my friend Miguel Garcia. He's from Peru. He's the president of PACHA. He's a Peruvian association in the United States. President. We always work together. We always working hard to bring the message about Peruvian food and ceviches. So, okay, there we go, guys. Show time. You ready? Okay. So, basically, we wanna do a classic Peruvian ceviche. This is healthy food. Okay, this is the new sushi. Okay, we're gonna say goodbye to the sushi. Now it's coming the Peruvian ceviche. It's very healthy, delicious, and simple to cook. Okay, it's very simple. So today we're gonna work in the classic Peruvian ceviche, and also we're gonna do 2 different kind of ceviches, but with the same technique. Okay, we're gonna learn how to cook this, and you guys will go believe how easy it is to make the ceviche. Okay. So first of all, we have in this case we have the flute. It's also called lenguado in Spanish. This is a beautiful fish. It's white meat, and it's very healthy. It's only 2% of fat, so it's very healthy. Okay. So we have the bowl always cold below 40. It's very important to keep the temperature of the fish, okay? Always. So we have the bowl here. We have the fish already cut, okay? Take time. So we put in the bowl. And here we have this kind of jalapeno. This is the red one. Actually, we use in Peru ají limo. It's very similar, but I don't find it's almost the same. It's good. Ají is perfect. Thank you. So the fish in the bowl, el ají, salt. Okay. You guys can see, right? Yeah. All right. I want you, any question, whatever you tell me, I can show you. Okay, again, no problem. So we have the pepper. In this case, we use white pepper. Simple like that. Okay. So we have the lime juice here. So we have the bowl, the fish, the lime, salt, pepper, and the lime. Okay. So why Peruvian ceviche is one of the more popular or delicious? Because they have different techniques. You know, we marinate the ceviche between 3 minutes and 6 minutes. It's enough to the lime make a kind of coction. We're gonna call it coction, but it's not really coction. They are cooking. Thank you, actually. So we take it 2 or 3 minutes. Always the fish has to be fresh. The fresh fish that you can find, okay? If not, it's not good ceviche. Alright guys, so the bowl, fish, the ají, salt, pepper, and the lime, okay? You can marinate sometime. Okay? So we have here the onion, red onion, we call them julienne, very simple, okay? Same, take some flavor, some time. I'm gonna try the salt. I'm gonna try it a little bit. Yeah, actually it's good. Alright guys, very simple like that, okay? One more time. The bowl, the fish, salt, pepper, the ají, cebolla, onion, red onion, and we are ready. Oh, I forgot to mention about the chocolate, maize, corn. Yeah. So we have here a kind of, we have here a kind of corn. This is called, we call it chocolate brew. This is, actually I think in Mexico they had it too. This is kind of corn. It's Peruvian, of course, from the mountains, from the Andes. It's kind of, I don't know how to explain it, carnoso.
Oh, there's a lot of meat in each piece of the corn. I don't know.
The flavor is not too strong, so it's perfect to accompaniment the ceviche. And also we have here the sweet potato. We call camote this in Peru. Basically, it's this. Yeah.
And something special about Peru is that Peru is the country with the most variety of corn
and the most variety of potatoes and sweet potatoes in the world, which is what makes part of their dishes so unique, is their biodiversity and their biodiversity in turn of their plants and vegetables. So you're getting to witness some of that tonight.
Yeah. My wife, she's environment. Okay. So that's it. Okay. One more time. I forget everything. I don't know. This is we're talking about corn. This is another variety of the corn. This is called cancha. It's delicious. I don't know how to explain. Can you explain this?
So the word for cancha, it means popcorn, and it also means this kind of popped corn. So you make it in a very similar way you would make popcorn in the United States, but not in your microwave. You're gonna do it over a fire or a stove top. And it's just a different variety of corn. You put it in the oil and it crackles and pops, and it becomes a nice crunchy complement to the ceviche, which has a different texture.
And you cook it the same day. You do it on corn in the house. A little bit of oil. That's it. Ready. Okay, guys. So we're gonna do the plate right now. We're here.
And I don't think we said you're all gonna get to try some of the ceviche.
Everybody gonna try, of course. See.
And the canchita.
Everything, guys. So what I say is very simple, make the ceviche. You can do it in your house. Here they have some kind of propiedades aphrodisiacas.
He's saying he's heard it has some aphrodisiac properties. I'm gonna share that with you.
Tomorrow, guys, you're gonna let me know it's true. So we have the ceviche in the plate, some camote, some sweet potato, a little bit of a canchita. We have the corn here. I got here some micro cilantro. So we just want to put some like a garnish. What is so funny?
Would you know to do that at home? Just put some micro on your plates.
All right, guys. This is a Peruvian ceviche. Very simple and delicious. So now is coming the interesting part. Okay, we want to bring this ceviche in another level, a little bit complicated. Okay, so. Okay, so now this is a ají amarillo, okay, yellow pepper, we call it ají amarillo, it's better, okay. This is frozen, usually it's like a, do you have in the book? Let me show how it's look. This one over here, yellow pepper, okay? So we want to take the ceviche and put it in a little bit high level, okay? Just change some techniques, but it's the same basic, okay? Yellow pepper with the yellow pepper paste, okay? How we do this? Very simple. You have water, hot water, boiling water, a little bit of salt, and take the ají amarillo, put inside, change the water 2 times, 1 time. It's up to you because it's a little bit spicy. So if you change it 3 times, it's gonna be less spicy. I just change 1 time, I like it spicy. So ají amarillo, okay? La cancha, remember la cancha? Okay, so we made, up here. We made with the cancha these twills. Okay, the twill is French, right? And very simple. We take the cancha, blender, okay, a little bit of water, salt, oven. You got this. Okay, it's very crispy. It's the flavor of the cancha. It's just cancha. Okay, so we're gonna do right now the. Oh, one more time. One more thing. Sorry. The sweet potato. This sweet potato that we have here. We made this. This is a sweet mashed potato, but also it's glazed with orange. How we made it? We cook the camote, the sweet potato, the same way that you cook papa or potatoes, and make the mash. In another pan, you take orange and sugar, some anise estrella. How do you say anise estrella? Starny. So thank you. And 1 piece of cinnamon. You reduce until you got the texture of syrup and mix it. It's very sweet and delicious, okay? It just changed a couple techniques, but it's the same. Okay, so now we're gonna take the fish and we're gonna do the same thing that we made before with the ceviche. Salt and pepper. We have here, in this case, I'm gonna use the habanero, but in this case it's green. There's 2 variants, red and green is the same flavor. This is an ají. Okay. Okay, the same thing we made before, okay? Now the lime. Okay. Remember, the time is 6 minutes, 3 to 6 minutes. That's enough. If not, it's going to be overcooked and the fish lose the texture, even the flavor too. All right, guys. The same ceviche. I want to start to plate right now. Okay, I'm gonna separate this. Too much. Right, so guys, this is called leche de tigre. Leche de tigre is I don't know what is the name. Actually, I don't know research about it.
Tiger milk.
Tiger milk, yeah, but I don't know why they call it tiger. I can't imagine. Oh, levanta muertos. Levanta muertos. Okay, yeah.
Ceviche is a food that people often eat after they've drank all night, and the next day they say levanta muertos, like it wakes up the dead, you know, and it's supposed to cure your hangover.
So the leche de tigre is basically all the ingredients of the ceviche with the ceviche, with the fish inside, okay? So we have the leche de tigre here, and now we're gonna take the yellow pepper paste or puree. This is beautiful flavor, guys. It's a lot. Okay, you wanna take it, you wanna try it. Okay? So it's inside, we mix it with the leche de tigre. So, somebody asked me before about difference between ceviches and tiraditos. The tiraditos is basically the ceviche, just we take the Japanese technique. We just cut the fish in slices, or like sashimi, kind of sashimi. And the sauce always is covered in, you know. So we have here. This is the ají amarillo, leche de tigre. And we're gonna pour a little bit of the fish. Okay, so now we have the sweet potato glaze. Okay. So this is the magic of Peruvian ceviche or Peruvian food. The flavors is intense, and at the same time it's not as, or it's like a love. That's how I
They
can
make their food with love, always. Always.
So, remember this? What is this? The true de cancha, yeah. Okay, so we take it, okay? 2 pieces. Some here. Some here. And I have some, I want to use this one, please. I like this. This is kind of herbs to garnish it. Okay. Why not we can do one line here, right? I like the leche de tigre. So guys, this is Peruvian tiradito. Thank you. So, easy. Ceviche, we made it like that. That's it. I'm sorry. So now we're gonna go to a little bit higher level. This is the last one, guys. So, okay, I wanna say thank you again. Okay, thank you everybody. Thank you to my wife. She's always there. You know? I saw my boss over here. I don't know where is it. Hey guys, what's up? This is Sebastian, chef. Thank you. This is Sebastian Chamaret. This is the chef. That guy is always, no matter what, always support me. Yes, all the time. You know. So thank you, chef. And Miguel Garcia too. I want to say thank you. He lived in Virginia. Actually, he came the last time we was working with Javier Wong, the #1 chef or Peruvian chef, master chef. So we have the opportunity to work with him too. And he always, you know, we're working and give the message. That's it. The people know about this food. Simple like that. So now, actually, we're gonna do one of the dishes that we have in Bagatelle. This is a tuna watermelon ceviche. Basically the same technique, okay? I want to take a mention about this. When Javier Wong was in the restaurant working with us, this is a great chef, okay? ¿Cómo se dice conservador?
Conserves, he conserves.
Conserve about the Peruvian food, okay? So we were talking about, he said, no, the ceviche is Peruvian, it always has to be like that, blah, blah, blah. Classic. Traditional, exactly. So I respect, okay? But I think that we can do different ceviche. We can fusion it, the ceviche. If we follow the same techniques, okay? Always a citric who cook the raw fish, and you have your mind to do whatever you want, no? All right, guys. So tuna, ahi tuna, very fresh.
So what Jose Luis is also not saying is this is his personal recipe that he's prepared.
I don't know what I do with that. Okay. Watermelon, sandia. Actually, we made this dish in Bagatelle. We was in summer still, and people love it. I don't know why. Okay. Watermelon, tuna. Salt. A little bit because also I'm going to use soya. Soya is pretty strong.
Soy sauce.
Soy soya. Okay. Ají. And we want to substitute the lime, Peruvian lime, for yuzu. The yuzu is a Japanese lime. It's very strong. It's delicious. I think the combination with the yuzu and soya is perfect. Okay, so we use the yuzu. The Same thing, 3 minutes to 6 minutes marinade. Soya. Soy sauce. This one I want to try. Maybe salt. Pepper. And same onion. Red onion. Watermelon, tuna, yuzu, soya, salt, pepper, ají, y red onion. That's it.
And this style of Peruvian food, that's Japanese fusion, the Peruvian country had a huge influx of Japanese people, so there's been a lot of fusion, and that's actually called Cocina Nikkei, which is, so it's a lot of the flavors of the acidics with the salty and the sweet, and it's my favorite kind of ceviche.
Okay. So we have here, guys, this is, we're gonna do the fun with ginger. So this is ginger fun, basically. How we cook this, we just take a blender, piece of ginger, clean, a little bit of milk, sugar, and we have the lecithin soya, to stabilize the fun, okay? So technically, we just want to retain the ear inside the item. Sorry, guys. You have. All right. Yes. Necesito venderlo. Oh, got it. Yeah. That's very nice. I'll take it out. Okay, so we have the ceviche, tuna, watermelon already here. We just want to cover with a little bit of the foam. And here I have some comestibles flores.
Edible flowers.
Like my wife. I just ate it. You know, guys. All right. Was fun, right? All right, guys. Tuna watermelon ceviche. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, so what I was, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
So, I'll just yell, sorry. So one of the things that, how Jose Luis and I met, and one of the things that really kept our relationship together despite cultural differences, both of us being far away from our family, was our love for Peruvian food. And Peruvian food, what's so important about it is that it's tied hand in hand with their culture and their biodiversity. So I'd love for everyone, you know, if we're gonna make ceviche for everyone right here to pass around, but if you have a chance to go home and read a little bit about Peru, read a little bit about their chefs. Their chefs are their most famous citizens, and they go travel around the world promoting, maintaining Peruvian biodiversity and their culture, because they know that that's the best way to transmit their culture all over the world. So please, we hope you enjoy, and I'll let Jose.
Guys, don't research about. Go to Peru.
Yeah.
So guys, with Joy Cooper is with us today. He's the management of sales in the lobster place. We worked together, and he gonna give a message about sustainable fishing. Okay, so welcome to Joy.
Can you hear me? Okay, well, thank you, Jose.
Thank you.
For including me in this. You get to do all the fun stuff, talking about more of the technical, scientific stuff. But obviously, sustainability is a hot topic these days. Sorry, I prepared some stuff. Okay. Sustainability is a hot topic these days, and sustainable seafood is definitely a major focus of conversation. Sustainability is based on a simple principle: meeting current needs without compromising the ability of future generations to have access to the same products. When talking about sustainability in regards to marine life, this means catching or farming seafood responsibly with consideration of the long-term health of the environment and the livelihood of the people who depend upon them. You may ask yourself, how do I know if the seafood at my local market or on the menu of my favorite restaurant comes from sustainable sources? Well, here are a few tips to follow as a guideline. Number one, if it's harvested, If it's harvested in the U.S., it is inherently sustainable due to the rigorous and stringent regulations set in place by organizations such as the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, and executed by regional fishery management councils and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. These agencies manage fisheries to ensure they're continuously monitored, improved, and operating within sustainable practices. Number two, buy your seafood always from knowledgeable and reputable vendors that implement purchasing policies that make sourcing sustainable fish a priority. Number three, there are guidelines on a number of websites, including the NOAA and the Monterey Bay Aquarium Seafood Watch, that use science-based recommendations to help consumers, chefs, and businesses choose seafood that is caught or farmed in ways that doesn't harm the environment. These organizations give recommendations for seafood that are best choices, good alternatives, or products that you should avoid. At the lobster place where I work, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the lobster place. We have a seafood market at Chelsea Market. Our number one priority is the quality of our products. This starts with sourcing seafood responsibly, handling it with extreme care in a clean facility, and ensuring it arrives to our customers in a pristine condition. We source our products locally, nationally, and globally, working with dealers and importers throughout the world. We source our fish from responsibly managed fisheries and state-of-the-art fish farms whose methods ensure high-quality products while minimizing environmental impact. Today, I spoke with Jose, and he wanted to use a sustainable fish. We decided on fluke, and fluke is, you may know, one of the more popular fish along the Atlantic coast, but it's also a fantastic conservation story. It's really popular, obviously, as Jose explained, because of its lean white meat and light, delicate flavor. But for many decades, the populations had dwindled to near endangered or extinct stocks. And in 1982, in 1982, the Atlantic States Marine Fisheries Commission approved the species' first fishery management plan in 1982. The population continued to decline well into the 90s as managers struggled to accurately assess the population status and identify appropriate catch levels. In 1993, managers established a rebuilding plan for the stock, limiting the amount of fluke, commercial, and recreational fishermen could catch along the East Coast. By 1996, the fluke catch was at an appropriate level for the first time in decades. The population began its gradual recovery. The fluke stock was finally declared rebuilt to its target population in 2010. Managers now set a catch quota for fish every year and divide it between commercial and recreational fishing. Commercial fishermen are allotted 60% of the annual catch, and recreational fishermen get the remaining 40%. Regulations also require that fluke must be above a certain size to protect juvenile fish and help maintain the segment of the population that is able to reproduce. Fluke has not been subject to overfishing since 2008, but managers and scientists continually strive to improve data and science used to manage this species.
And also, guys, we have kind of fish. It's corvina. Somebody knows this corvina? Okay, this is a kind of fish. It's weird because we don't use it so much here in New York. It was actually we was looking yesterday for a corvina. We cannot find it. And this is one of the more sustainable fish they have now in Italy, in Spain too. They have farms, so it's really good. 2% of fat, so it's very healthy. So thank you guys. The ceviche is coming. Okay, don't worry.
Our own personal books from home about Peruvian food. We'd love for you to take a look through them. Peru's food. We bought them so they could be shared. So please take a look, talk to our different experts, and we'll get the ceviche passing around in just a few minutes. Thank you.
All right, so please hang on tight. Your food is finally, well, another food, actually one of my favorites, is coming shortly. I'm sure they're gonna bring it out. It's gonna be small, it's gonna be a sample. I'm sorry we couldn't do any bigger, so just sit tight. But feel free to grab our chef. There are actually more than one. They're all around. I'm sure he'll introduce his colleagues, but they are all from different restaurants, Bagatelle and a couple of other ones, right?
Yes. Miguel is coming from Virginia. He has his own restaurant. Guys, I forget that. I don't know if we have some space to any question.
Yeah, do we have questions from the audience?
Any curiosity as far as, oh, okay, we do. Okay, I'm gonna pass the mic. Well,
wait a second. Talk close to your mouth, that's all.
There, we hear you.
I'm just a chef.
Hola, tia.
Hola. Was the orange, you were using the peel as well, or no?
No, we just squish, take cut in half,
Okay.
squish in the pan.
Just squeezing the juice?
Just the
juice?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'll make it for you next time you come to my house.
Cool. I'm going to do it for you. Okay? Question, thank you. Oh, question?
The yellow pepper, is it cooked or raw? The sauce
This,
that you make.
what is the other one? This one is cooked.
It's cooked, it's
Yes.
boiled.
I'll give the other piece of. Okay, so this is coming the whole piece. Can you imagine this one, but 3 times or 4 times bigger? You just take out the meat with the skin, everything, and boil.
Boiled, exactly.
That's it. And also you can confit on oil. You use it different ways, you know. This is very important, the amarillo for Peruvian food. It's one of the, I think one of the best products that we have. Thank you guys. Question?
Do you have this pisco sour from Chile or from Peru?
Oh, absolutely Peruvian. Yes. Anybody from Chile here? No? Okay, good. Yes.
Is there any theory about how the dish came to be?
Yes, I was researching about ceviches. It's a lot of theories. Some of them they say in the north of Peru, the mochica, the culture mochica, they used to eat raw fish with the tumbo. Tumbo is another citric, pretty big, They marinate over there. This is one theory. Another said it was naufrago. How do you say naufrago? Naufrago. The people, one guy was in the sea, he fell, so he don't have nothing to eat. He just take one fish, one orange, he makes ceviche. This is another one. And also in the south of Peru, we have Arequipa. It's one small town. The name is Ceviche. This is the name. So people say the ceviche is coming from there, but it's different. You know, in Philippines they used to use the calamansi. It's another kind of a citrus. It's like a mandarin with a lime person. They have ceviche too. Ecuador and different parts, right? Thank you. Question? All right, guys. Thank you very much. Okay.
Queridos amigos, tenemos el placer y el gran honor de estar en estos momentos entrevistando al maestro, nuestro chef peruano, el señor Miguel García, quien llega desde muy lejos para poder apoyar este gran evento como es el Exposet de New York City. Querido Miguel García, ¿qué lo motiva a usted siempre a apoyar estos eventos tan entusiasta y tan profesional que viene desde lejos para apoyar a un joven como es José Luis Chávez?
Bueno, lo más importante, tú sabes cuál es el lema de nosotros como Pacha, es de unificar la gastronomía peruana, y siempre te he dicho, maybe trabajando en esto, donde me llamen, donde requieran mi apoyo, yo siempre estaré disponible y eso lo sabes tú.
Sí, eso es cierto. Una de las importantes momentos que estamos viendo ahora es que hay mucho público americano y algunos se han acercado cuando tú estabas preparando el ceviche. ¿Qué era lo que podrías rescatar que ellos te dijeron mayormente?
Bueno, esa es la satisfacción y ese es quizás del esfuerzo y el trabajo que estamos haciendo todos nosotros los cocineros que estamos involucrados en la gastronomía, y es un mensaje para todos mis colegas de que es tan satisfactorio ver que la gente americana es la que está disgustando, está disfrutando de nuestra comida, tú ves del ceviche que se ha preparado en presencia de ellos al momento. En 5 minutos hemos preparado ceviche para 150 personas.
Fresquísimo. Y bueno, en tu cargo tan importante que estás haciendo una labor maravillosa, como tú dices, unificando la gastronomía, apoyando a los chefs, difundiendo lo mejor que puede tener el Perú, como son sus productos también, como presidente del Peruvian American Chef Association. ¿Cuántos chefs hasta el momento tienen y cómo podrías tú, digamos, diferenciarlos? ¿Por el norte, por el área de acá triestatal, por Washington? Aproximadamente, danos una idea.
Bueno, mira, nosotros un promedio registrado estamos hablando de más o menos de 1000 en todo lo que es Estados Unidos, pero los fuertes, tú sabes, está Miami, está Washington, Virginia, Nueva York, New Jersey, ¿no? Pero esa es la idea. Nosotros con este evento que hacemos, el Cuchillo de Oro, el primer domingo de noviembre de todos los años, es justamente descentralizarlo. Y la idea es que este evento de este año, por ejemplo, posiblemente lo hagamos en Miami y buscamos el auspicio porque tú sabes que Pacha no cobra nada, no vendemos nada. Trabajamos por nuestro país, trabajamos con ese cariño, con ese amor de nuestro querido país y tan lejos también, ¿no?
Miguel, con este trabajo tan profesional de promover la gastronomía, que tú viajas, inviertes tu dinero, ¿no has pensado en algún momento como Pacha, tal vez, abrir un canal en YouTube y poder brindar un poquito más de charlas magistrales, que vemos que tú eres un artista en todo esto?
Tú sabes que el tiempo es bien apremiante, tú sabes que yo tengo un negocio propio, que ya lo tengo 1 año y estoy muy involucrado en esto y lógico, aparte tengo la empresa de asesoramiento gastronómico, pero yo soy una puerta abierta para todo aquel que quiera poner un negocio. No solamente tiene que ser peruano, un extranjero del país que quiera, que se ponga la camiseta de la gastronomía peruana. Si necesita mi apoyo, necesita el apoyo de Pachas, ahí vamos a estar nosotros.
Muchísimas gracias, Miguel García. Hermanos, conózcanlo, por favor, compatriotas. Este hombre, ¿a dónde crees tú que vas en el próximo evento? ¿Dónde estarás?
Donde me llamen. Como te digo, donde me llamen, donde me requieran de mis servicios, ahí estaremos apoyando, porque lo más importante, Melvin, es que todos tengamos ese sentir de no trabajar a título personal. Yo no trabajo por Miguel García, yo trabajo por la gastronomía peruana, trabajo por nuestra querida patria, por nuestro querido Perú.
Ahí lo tienen, señores. Para que vean, queridos compatriotas, recuérdenlo bien, por favor, Miguel García, presidente de Peruvian American Chef Association. Buenas noches.
Gracias, buenas noches.
Hello everyone, I'm here at Expose 2015 eating some ceviche with Cynthia Helen. She is the creator of this whole event. So tell us a little bit about what we're doing here.
Well, it's taking place in Soho, New York City, which is one of the best areas in New York, to be honest, to work and to play too. And the reason why we're here, starting out today, Friday, all the way till Sunday, is we want to focus on the sustainability, on the social impact, what we're eating, how nutritious, how healthy is it, what we can do as consumers when we go into a grocery store, how much power do we have when we purchase a product, and the people that are actually making this happen, right? Who are the entrepreneurs? Who are the designers? Who's the team? Who are the biggest players out there? So for me, it's fun for me to be amongst individuals who are so passionate in what they do. They get up and they believe that their product, that their service is going to change. So the food that they're doing, it's amazing. The product companies, it's incredible.
Okay, and this is obviously a very beneficial and interactive event. What initially inspired you to just create this?
So it was during the holiday season, and my company actually works out of here. So this is a co-working space called The Farm, and we wanted to share a bit of our culture. My culture, the company was inspired in Peru. We started in Peru actually. So I run a research and development lab. We launched in 2012 in Peru in Lima, but then we actually launched here officially in 2013 in New York City with a huge conference. We focus a lot on technology, but pretty much trying to empower those who don't have much. So I focus on poverty issues. But the reason why we're here and what inspired is my love for ceviche, my love for my country. I am Peruvian born, however I was New Jersey raised, but thanks to my parents, they've been incredible people in my life that have always made sure that I know where I come from. And that really tells me who I am.
And from what I've seen, this event is it's dynamic, it's very interactive. What would you say is the most important thing that you want attendees to take away from tonight? There's a lot of things.
I think that I would want them to really take away that that really everyone here, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you are a student or a corporate individual or a journalist or a producer, that your love for something can turn into a much bigger, a passion can turn into, develop into something much more translucent, something much more transparent, and be exposed amongst others. So for me, exposed is much more than just a food tasting workshops. I think it's something that we can actually relate to. I think right now what I'm doing is I'm sharing a bit of my culture. A lot of people here don't really know much of Latin America, let alone Peru. So I would like to say, if anything, I may be the only Peruvian in this co-working space. So for me, it's an honor to be like, I am not only South American, but I'm also Peruvian. So this is something very beautiful for me, and I think everyone else that is experiencing a bit of what other cultures have. You know?
So you came here when you were 4 from Peru. Yes. You're obviously a very successful woman. You're an entrepreneur. I'm reading here, producer, director, technologist, and just the list goes on. What I want to know is, how much has your Peruvian heritage influenced everything that you do?
I think it has to be because of almost my entire life, my parents have been the one to make sure I know where I come from, and that's obviously Peru, not in the music that I listen to at home with them, to the food that I get to eat. So I want to say the majority of my life has been very, I feel as though I can relate to go back and forth between a culture that, it's 8 hours away. For me, it's easiest just talking to them and talking to you or anyone else, really. I think it's a part of me, and I'm trying to make it more of a part of me because I am proud. When I was younger, I was the Pocahontas one in my elementary school. I went to a very, very male, well, not male, white demographic community, very Portuguese and Italian. So growing up in that, it kind of makes you feel as though you're kind of like the outsider because you're the only Pocahontas one, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I was like, you know what? I'm going to play that to my advantage. I'm different. That's for damn sure. I know 2 languages. What's the best? Everyone else does not have that opportunities for me. So for me, it's amazing to actually carry that with me. It's like an extra perk that I get to bring. So yeah, I'm very proud. And I don't think I could say that maybe 5-10 years ago. And I think when you're growing up, you start realizing certain things, pros and cons. But today, right now, at 28, I'm super excited of what the type of person I'm developing into. Something that I want to be honest with what I do, the career moves I make as far as my company and my team too, and the things that I create, and the people that I get to meet, like you.
So you're obviously a very successful woman, and it's amazing to hear that. I'm an aspiring journalist. What would you say to any aspiring, not even aspiring journalists, just people in general that want to make a difference? What is your advice to them?
Start. Why wouldn't you start? Start if you haven't. I think it's one thing to start, it's to say, to talk about it, right? I want to be this. What's stopping you from being that right now? We have the technology, especially us because we are so young, to do what our parents could not do at their age. For us to get a YouTube hit or a social media or someone to tweet us back is so easy, right? So for us, it's so much simpler, so much easier. It's just deciding what you love. And I think the best thing for me when I work with my team is I like to know, what don't you like to do? Tell me what you don't like to do first. Because I will make sure I don't put you in that. I will make you focus on that. I want your passion to really come out in the work that you do, because that to me is valuable. And to you, it should be too.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for sitting down with us. And congratulations on it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. And I'm going to have some ceviche.
And I'm going to eat my ceviche as well.
Oh my goodness. So hungry today. Not having eaten. It's going to be the first thing I got. You're having seconds.
This is my